kind of messed up. I made a rookie mistake. I'm gonna fix it today. What's going on, and welcome back. And it has been a minute since I have created some content for you guys. Had lots going on, very busy, and was sick for a little bit, so didn't make it out here to film anything. So anyway, we're gonna change that today. I've got some work to do because yes, as you saw in the beginning, I messed up. Something that I consider a rookie mistake and was easily avoidable. So let me turn the camera around, let me show you what I'm talking about, and we'll get into fixing this little problem. All right, y'all, if you remember my last video about the AC for our 73 Nova, you know that I got it working, got the hoses re-crimped. As you can see, a couple of them back there, see one up here. But if you also notice, and you remember what I talked about in that video, if you can see this hose here, it's got a different crimp on it. Well, as I said in that video, I had a mobile hydraulic guy crimp the hoses for me, and several of them leaked. This particular hose, it wasn't leaking, so I was like, I'll just leave it, you know, don't fix what isn't broken. Well, guess what? I'm not sure if I can get the camera down here. Let me see if I can. Not sure if you can tell, but it's kind of wet down there on the frame and the inner fender there. You can see that. Yeah, that hose is leaking. You can see it right down there. It's leaking. So the one hose that I was like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, guess what? Well, it broke. So today we are going to hopefully fix that, get the AC working again, because Miss Nova Castile went to drive it the other day and no AC. So she was not happy. So we have got to get this fixed so I don't have to mess with it again, hopefully. But let me get this line off. This also gives me the opportunity to show you how the tool works, the crimping tool, because I did not show how it worked in the last video, but I did talk about it. But I think today I'll show how you crimp with it and how well it does work. So let me get this hose off, let's get started, let's get busy, let's get this thing back to putting out some cold AC. All right, y'all, so I've got the tool in the vise. You can basically just clamp it down, or it does have holes in the base here where you can mount it, you know, to a workbench, something like that. So let's see, let's start off with the first crimp. Now this die, as I stated in the other video, I believe, comes in different sizes, so you can do different size hoses. Obviously, I'm trying to get this hose to kind of sit, not drag the ground on me, but basically you're going to make sure that the hose is all the way in. I know this is because it is crimped somewhat to begin with, but there are little holes in these fittings. You can make sure that the hose is all the way in there. Once you get the fitting in hose inside the crimper, you're going to close it, and you're going to put this pin through. That just kind of holds the device together. And then you want to situate your fitting how you want it in there and where you want the crimps to be. I'm going to run this down, and then we'll get a wrench to tighten it. So let's get this held in place. It should be held in place pretty good. Get a wrench. Alright, so we got our wrench. I'm going to make sure that my fitting is straight. We're going to start to tighten this down while ensuring that my fitting is not going anywhere until it grabs a hold of it. You can feel it starting to grab believe I've got my fitting where I want it to be. And then we're just going to crimp it down. Now there are a couple different methods that I've seen online. One method is you run this down basically until it stops. You can see this little gap between the tool here. One method is to run it down to where there is no gap. Another method is a certain torque value, and I believe that depends on what size fitting and hose you're working with. But the last time that I did these, I just went ahead and pretty much ran it down until it, you know, kind of stopped on its own. Not putting a ton of force, but like right there, it stopped. It's not going to go any further. And just back off. And so far, I believe the other hoses are holding fine. I believe it was just this one that wanted to leak on me. So now we will open it up. And my piece came out of there. That is not supposed to do that. It's supposed to stay in. I'm not sure why it did. For some reason it's not staying in there. I don't know what's going on with that. But anyway, so see if I can show you this crimp without knocking things over here. So I got the hose stretched out, but there you go. Nice and crimped down. Hopefully this won't leak. Now we'll do the other side and get the hose back on the car and do the process all over again of vacuuming down the system and all that good stuff. So yeah, let me get this crimped up and we'll be back. All right, y'all, so as I stated, having to do this whole process all over again. So got the line on, the hose back on, as you can see, right there, focus, bam. Got the hoses hooked up, the gauges, and right now we are pulling vacuum on the system. It is extremely important to pull vacuum on the system. Get you a good little decent vacuum pump, good set of gauges. These gauges I got off Amazon. I will say I have had a few problems with them, kind of gunking up in the valves, which are the connections down there and the low pressure over there. So I've had to clean them out several times to get them to work correctly and actually flow through. So anyway, this is not a review, just wanted to give you a heads up. Keep an eye out for that kind of stuff because you may not know, because the gauge is still going to read whether that's open or not. So yeah, as long as this valve is open. But anyway, keep an eye on that, and this is important because you do not want any air in the system. If you have air in the system, it is not going to cool efficiently. You need nothing but refrigerant in the system, and of course oil for the compressor for it to operate optimally. So just a little heads up, and to show you where I'm at with this, I'm going to let it vacuum down for a little while. We've got to make sure we have all air, all moisture, all that stuff out of the system to ensure that once we put the refrigerant in, like I said, it'll perform optimally, and hopefully it'll perform as before and nice and cold. But let me let this vacuum for a little while and we'll be back. She's cold now, baby. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah. Alright y'all, so as you can see, we got the car buttoned up. AC is now working again, thankfully. Man, I tell you, some lessons are hard learned. The lesson to take from this video is do it right the first time. That way you're not in here doing it again, costing more money for more refrigerant. Even though it's not too expensive, that's still money just burned away, leaked away, whatever. So anyway, Miss Nova Castile is now going to be happy because she can drive her car again. She was, I wouldn't say she was upset when she drove it last time, but man, she really wanted to drive it, and it was hot in that car. It was really hot that day. It was actually a little bit cooler out, mid-80s today, so not too bad, but man, the car's got to have AC for the summer. No doubt about it. But anyway, we got the Nova fixed again. A little bit of repeat of the last video on the car, but you know, that's how it goes. So, let's see what else I can get into today since it's nice out. I hadn't been out here in the shop and worked in a while, so we got to get some stuff done. Hope you liked this video. If you did, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. We got more stuff coming. Hopefully we'll get to the track. And we'll see you on the next one.